Oh, for crying out loud. Oh, that's so obvious as well. I am so sorry. I have been going for the entirety of this last 15 minutes or so, and I was using the wrong microphone. So you didn't hear any of it. Right, so for all the people that can't see anything, let me give you a little bit of rundown. J-Horse, Quick Killers, and that Sim Guy line out the top three. Arrow Blake, Joachim, Scotty, Mr. Cookie, R. Henson, Hazard Pole, Chasmire, Rice the Oil Can, Alexis Sanchez, DPRW, Mechanical Cole, Never Fear Andy's here, Calf Janks, X Parry, Jimmy Janks, and then the Nucho lines out the full grid. Top drivers, Quick Killer, that Sim Guy, and Aero Blake are all on their outlaps currently, and it's going to be Aero Blake that's going to start that outlap first. It's coming towards the end of the qualifying, and it's only now that someone probably told me that they couldn't hear anything. That's just wonderful. That's exactly what I wanted. Sorry, I'm watching the Luton game, the Luton Chelsea FA Cup game as well at the same time. So yeah. So there you go, Aero Blake currently out on the first flyer for the top 5. The other 4 currently still on outlaps. Hooking around the long left-hander and into the quick right. Pummeling it down the straight now. This is one of my favourite sections of track. You get this right-hander and then you get the double right-hander out here. That was very, very wide off the track. And yet no track limit invalidations. He'll get away with it. Into the flight corner where you hit the curb just that little bit too hard and you take flight. It's not the funnest of corners. Deep into sector 2 now, getting the DRS, but he won't have a tow, so it will just be DRS all by itself to propel him along. We've got yellow flags in sector 1, that's cars just slowing down for others to pass. He goes fastest in sector 2 and heavy into the braking zone. Keeps on the brakes all the way into the corner, just letting go but keeping the power down. Out of that corner, heavy into the braking really, really late and making sure to use all of the braking possibilities through the entire lap, through the right-hander, into the next final corner of that. Can he go fastest? He doesn't. He puts himself P2, 6,000th off of pole. J-Horse currently still possessing pole position. Other than that, Quick Killers has just started his lap. That Sim Guy is quite deep into his. And Joachim, I believe, has just started his as well. Scotty's finished. He's the first man to finish. That, though, I think that Sim Guy is the first. And then it's Quick. And then it's J-Horse. And then Joachim. Right, so keeping our close eye on that Sim Guy. Currently P4, 2 tenths off. He's 3 tenths up currently. Goes purple sector 2. Can he just about put himself on pole position? He might be able to do it here. He needs to go 0.21 seconds quicker. Currently he was 3 tenths up at the end of sector 2. This could be current pole position for him, but the other cars are going to be able to do the exact same. Yes, he does go pole, and he goes pole by a massive margin, 4 tenths to J-Horse. J-Horse is going to have to do a lot here. He's only 2 tenths. Quick Killers pushes himself up to P2 as well, 200ths off. Quick Killers are going to have to, J-Horse is going to have to gain back another 2 tenths nearly to put himself into a position. Mr. Cookie gets himself up into P3. Can J-Horse then strip that of him? Not 100% sure yet. He finals the left-hand corner. He does go fastest. Not by a lot though, 8 thousandths of a second, and he takes pole position away from that sim guy. Not everyone's finished yet though, although I think they all are. That is it, that is qualifying over. Unless you look just towards the back of the grid, you've got Never Fear Andy's here, just pulling in. And it will be Jimmy Jags to set a lap. And it is pretty normal lap for him. J-Horse steals it by the tip of his tongue. Manages to get himself into pole position. 8 thousandths of a second. Absolutely incredible stuff from him. Really quick. Although it is going to be it's going to be heavily going to be challenging, very challenging to see the Mercedes boys actually fighting up at the top again today. Obviously this isn't possibly their strongest track. Pole all the way down in 11th and Joachim in P6. But it's J-Horse once again doing very well in qualifying. 2 people into the 130s is very impressive. Very impressive qualifying. Top 8 rocking under 132s. Lovely to see our Henson and Scotty rocking the Ukrainian flag as well. It's very nice to see. I don't know whether anybody else was, unfortunately not. I'm not sure currently. It is a dry start to the race. Whether that will change or not, I'm not 100% sure. But whilst we have about 2 minutes or so before lights out, including our formation lap, let's take a little look through our pre-race comments. That sim guy saying he's looking forward to this round. It's one of his stronger ones, as we saw quite clearly in qualifying. Just needs to be careful with the corner cutting. It's very easy to do around here. Yeah, we saw a lot of invalidated laps during qualifying. Quick Killers, which track we going even? He was completely unaware even just before the race. Hazard saying the pretty obvious in Russia is bad. In case you're wondering, that is why a lot of people are rocking yellow and blue helmets. Obviously to pull the Ukrainian flag, as nicely mentioned to me by Mechanica Cole. Never Fear Andy's here, could do without getting lapped this time. And Mr. Cookie says that he's got a feeling this isn't going to go well. Pole 47 was very happy to be here. He was super stoked, although first spelt it sewer stoked. J-Horse moaning about Chelsea losing to Luton and Roman selling. And he's asking for, please Sochi, don't make this any worse. Well, he's currently on pole position, so he's got one of the safest positions on the grid. And that sim guy, though, with a lovely little Dr. Evil meme, and it's almost come true there, P1 and P2. So what could happen at the start of this race? I got very excited, screaming up the town. And just a nice little request to the Nucho there. Other than that, cars lining up. 27 laps here today. 27, that's the same amount of days into February that you get to my birthday. Yes, I am now 1 year older than I was last time I did this. I know, super impressive stuff. But, I know, I worked really hard for that one. Currently coming around the last couple of corners on the grid. It'll be interesting to see how this one takes off. I'm looking forward to it. Actually, it's gonna be fun. I do like Russia. It's just a shame that, yeah, what's just currently happening right now. Valtteri Bottas up on the signs as per always. Mechanical Cole's wheel is beginning to act up, so in case you see anything happen to him, that is why the driver's lining just about up onto the grid now. For some reason we're going to have a nice little back. No, we're not. We're finally set to the correct one. 5 red lights. Will the Ferrari get off to the start that he desires? It's a very, very long lights, and it's not the start that he'd have wanted. That Sim guy absolutely flying off the grid with an absolutely incredible start off the line. The Aston Martin trying to sneak his way up into P3. I think Mr. Cookie will probably take it here as they go. J Horse is going to try around the outside, and he's going to get the inside line. A couple of cars making a dive for that pit, for that corner cut. J Horse remains in the lead right now, heading through the long left-hander. The Haas lining P4 right now. Aero Blake has Joachim not that far behind. Quick Killer's not the best start to his race ever. Part of that, big position changes for Chaz Knight Rider. He moves his way all the way up to P8, 4 places up. But a really, really bad start for Scotty, who's all the way down in 14th, losing 6 positions currently. Part of that, though, it's already beginning to even out. There's not a whole lot of chaos taking place. It's just a lot of cars all together. Running down the back straight now. No DRS, obviously. We don't get DRS until lap 3. And there's a yellow flag in sector 2. That is Alexis Sanchez stopped. He's obviously just had a little bit of a collision. Joins back on the grid nice and safely. He's all by himself, so it's nothing nothing to majorly matter. J-Horse not being able to really push away from this grid. They're all very, very close within each other right now. It's all towards the back end of the grid, though. It's beginning to get a little bit leery. The 2 McLarens lining each other up one by one as Chaz Knight Rider makes an absolutely lovely move on our Henson there. Just at the bottom of your screen, flying up the main straight now. The lovely kink to the right, absolutely love that little kink to the right. It just makes that track just a little bit more exciting, you know. Into the heavy braking zone, the Mercedes Joachim down in P6 currently, hasn't changed positions yet. Lots of movement happening around him. I'm pretty sure that's Aero Blake that's managed to squeeze his way back past through the long left-hander, got his way past the Aston Martin. I have a very tickly throat, which is not what you want. I can't. I'm so tired. Don't know why. That Sim guy's already picked up a penalty. That's not good at all. It's only a 3 seconds, so obviously it's a track limit violation. Just pushing the track a little bit too hard, and it's managed to pick himself up a penalty in lap 2. What's been going on? Can't make a move there. I think that was an ever so slight lockup as well. Predicted pit stop. It is a soft to medium strategy today. I don't think anybody started on... No, God, there's quite a few mediums actually. I didn't realise there was that many. Highest medium runner though is Rusty Orkan, so it's quite a way down that we're going to have those alternating strategies. It'll be interesting to see how people do, and Joachim getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings as well, as we have a yellow flag in sector 3. That is a Ferrari going slowly. That is Never Fear Andy's here. That's obviously had some form of collision, as that Sim guy getting really, really close with J-Horse there, just nicking it off him. Flying down the inside there without even didn't have DRS, I don't think. He'll have it for the back straight. J-Horse will, I'm pretty certain, as you just can't shake him off at all. Just looping around the track. It's a bit of an interesting track, Sochi. It's very, very flat. In case you couldn't tell. DRS wide open, hunting down that Mercedes at pace. Is he going to try and make a move? No, he's not. He stays behind, unsurprisingly, to be honest. But this could be a major opportunity for him. He's only 4/10 back at the start of the long DRS down into turn 1. Building up the pressure. He's going to go to the inside here. He makes a heavy dive. And it's an easy move past that Sim guy. Back for the lead of the race. But Aeroblake could also try and sneak up the inside of that Sim guy here. Is he going to get the move done? He hooks it round. He could also get the move done on J-Horse here. You know, he does stay behind, and that Sim guy just sneaks back up the inside there. It was literally just J-Horse getting in the way that's lost Aeroblake out on that position. He had it. He very much had it, and now he's very heavily on the back of that Sim guy. Mr. Cookie is also not that far back from him as well. It's very close up at the front of the grids. We're not getting a single person absolutely flying away with this, and that is something that we absolutely love to see here. Those quick killers, and he quick killers, he spins. Oh, just on the curve there, he's spun it badly. Just gets it back round. Big counter steer there to keep the car trying to get it back in a straight line. Chaz Knight Rider's had a really fine start. Made his way up 6 positions, up to P6 currently. And J-Horse obviously currently back in P1. Whether that will stay like that heading into the last couple of corners. Final corner, accelerating out. All the cars are now. The Ferrari heavily under threat once again. It's about as far back as it was last time round. Just swapped roles. He's closing in on the time. He's going to go round to the outside this time. That Sim guy. It's an interesting camera angle when we're trying to watch the battle, but he does. He gets the move done very easily. No questions asked. Easy stuff. Chaz Knight Rider moving up to P5. Very impressive stuff from him, actually. He's doing very well. Absolutely flying around with R. Henson and SX Perry. Not that far behind either. These 3 boys at the top, though. Very quick. You see the 2 Aston Martins down at the bottom, Mr. Cookie and Hazard, not having the best time of their lives, to be honest. A lot of the drivers currently just using this back straight as almost a way to compensate the time they lost through Sector 1 and that first half of Sector 2. Not many using it as something particularly to overtake, but just to catch up. It's the main straight that loads of people are using to overtake. J-Horse gonna hopefully try and just lob it up that little bit more. That Sim guy setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far. Going nearly a second quicker than J-Horse did. In fact, J-Horse could be under pressure here from Aeroblake. That could be the dangerous move here. They go side by side. No, they don't. J-Horse stays in front just due to that DRS train. But can Aeroblake get the better exit and try and make a move? Running. He's staying behind, but he's just keeping himself dipped off to the left. I don't think he'll be too far back to make a move, to be honest. He's just getting quite close, though. He's making it a difficult time for J-Horse. Just wearing him, just making him a little bit nervous. And I think he's doing that rather well, and it could be in a very short period of time that J-Horse could possibly make a mistake if this pressure stays to this much. But obviously Aeroblake will just want to get past. He doesn't want to force a mistake. He just wants to make a nice clean move. That gap of that Sim guy to J-Horse just getting that little bit larger now. DRS gonna hopefully just bring that time down that little bit further. It closes it down, but it doesn't close it down to how close it had been closing before, and that's a lot of close, and I don't like that, and that's a closing statement from me. It's a whole 1.4 seconds now. J-Hawes really slowing things down, trying to defend to Aeroblake. He's not going to be in the DRS. It's going to be very, very under threat from Aeroblake. Aeroblake getting past on the right-hander, King. It's not even down into the braking zone. It's not even on the straight. He got it in the corner. That's just how close he was before they hit the DRS line. Absolutely flying past. Something's obviously gone wrong for J-Hawes. His pace has just fallen off massively. Who knows why? Mr. Cookie, though, all the way down in P18, is going to set the fastest lap on medium tyres as well. That's the fastest first sector for Aeroblake, who's just beginning to close that gap back down to that sim guy. Back underneath the DRS line, so which is exactly what he'll be wanting. Just to get that sneaky little bit of DRS. Though it's going to be very, very tight. I think that was the DRS line that he just passed. So he will get DRS. Yes, wide open round the right-hander. Next right-hander as well. Wide open into the left-hander. It closes down about half a second, maybe about 4/10. So that was that's helpful for him. Obviously it's not absolutely ideal. He's lost a bit of that time as well in the corners. Just came. Quite open around the grid actually, unless you're looking at towards the back of the grid. It's a little tighter in some places, but this is one of the closest battles on the grid currently, and it's very very big. Other than that, that gap from Quick Killers is unbelievable. What's going on here back here? Oh, there's a train and a half back here. Quick Killers right on the back of Scotty, who doesn't have DRS. He's going to absolutely soar past on this straight. Without a shadow of a doubt. Maybe even Calfjack might be able to get in on this action. But it's still very, very close here, down towards the back of the grid. And Red Bull just sneaking himself in front of Scotty. Quick Killers into 11th place. Scotty in 12th. It's chaos towards the back of the grid here. As Calfjack just getting close to Scotty now. Got Alexis Sanchez and DPRW behind. The highest up on this train is P9. The furthest back is P15. It's huge. So they're all just running along the circuit one by one. Whoever's leading is absolutely bricking it because they've got to worry about having everyone else overtake them on the straights with the DRS. They're not in the best of positions as Rusty Oil Cans looking dangerous. He's going to try and move down the inside of the Mercedes. Gets it done magnificently. That is just easy stuff into the first corner. After that, after the straights, lots and lots of movement currently taking place. Lots and lots of battles. The McLaren and Haas going side by side. The McLaren loses out a little bit, gets back into a battle with an Alpine now. They're going to go down, but the McLaren launches itself into the pit lane. Unsurprisingly, that was maybe he might have picked up a slight bit of damage. Maybe that was just his time to come in. I'm not 100% sure. Other than that, the excitement isn't quite over yet. The Alfa Romeo and the Red Bull going side by side into turn one. The Red Bull gets an absolutely wonderful exit round the outside and launches his way up into P8. That's Quick Kills up into P8, overtaking Rusty Oil Can. Rusty obviously can't get his way back after that long left-hander of I believe that's turn 3 that the left-hander is. Intense battles remain with Quick Killers and Rusty Orcan. Neither of them can give up the spot as Quick Killers goes very, very wide through that corner. Doesn't quite make it out. Rusty Orcan just getting right on the back of the gearbox there. But Quick Killer's launching his way into the pit lane, which really, really ruffles up the order. Loads of people moving around, loads of people diving into the pits. Essex Perry, Quick Killer's Pole, all in the pit lane, along with that Sim guy's also lodged himself into the pit lane as the Alpine and that Sim guy leaving. It's going to be 3 wide into turn 1. It's just not enough space. They clash and bang wheels, and the Alpine loses out massively. That Sim guy falls into second place within that, and Aeroblade comes out fastest from that situation. That was one of the the best little moves ever. The car is just leaving the pit lane right at the perfect moment, and we find ourselves with that Sim guy's found himself in a pretty decent position after all of that taking place. The two Hasses rocking side by side there down the back straight. It is absolutely wonderful racing, actually. Alexis Sanchez and Aeroblake very, very close to each other, with that Sim guy right on the back of Alexis Sanchez. He's going to go up the inside. Gives him barely any room whatsoever, and he's just not enough room as he spins on the corner. I don't know whether that was a slight knock of the wheel or whether that was his own mistake. I'm not 100% sure. But that was not very, not ideal looking for either of them, to be honest. It could be either's fault. As Joachim and R. Henson dive into the pit lane as well. Mechanical Car and Chaz Knight Rider up in P2 and P3, having absolutely wonderful records so far. But obviously they've got to come in to the pits. There's a big rise in positions there for Aeroblake and that Sim guy after the pit lane conundrums have taken place. These two are really nicely scrapping it out. Both of them leaving leaving plenty of space for each other as they just that Sim guy just wants to get past so desperately. He's going to go side by side into turn 1. Can that Sim guy get the better exit? No, he doesn't. He'll go back to Aeroblack. I didn't even notice they were going side by side. I might have been checking the time. Probably not the best time to check the time, but oh well. That Sim guy just cannot seem to get past whatsoever, can he? He's trying so desperately to get himself past and get himself back up into a better position. J-Horse all the way down in P8 currently, after I believe that he has made a pit stop. Yep, he has made a stop, but there is 3 drivers between them that hasn't missed a cookie. He's in a really solid position right now. Everyone that's made a stop has got a penalty, par Aeroblake. So I wonder if that means anything as they go round the corner. It's going to be in the heavy braking zone. Aeroblake stays in same position. Oh, they're all 3 seconds, so it's just a matter of luck, I think. Just somehow that's sort of how it's ended up. This is the closest battle on the grid, so we're just keeping our cameras on it. It's a really, really good fighting. We have a safety car. What's caused the safety car? Oh, it's Jimmy Jags is out during sector 3. That chicane. He's not quite sure how on God's green earth he's managed that, but he has, and it's caused a safety car, which means someone like Chaz Knight Rider. He's DNF there. How on earth has he managed that? With that sim guy launching himself into the pit, is Aeroblake going to follow? No, he's not. He's staying out. Ross Durocan obviously coming into the pit. So is Mr. Cookie. J-Horse stays out as well. DPRW coming into the pits. He's on 12 lap old soft, so that's unsurprising as well. Joachim stays out. Calf Jax goes in. So does Alexis Sanchez. So does Never Fear. R. Henson as well. Mechanical Cole. Will he do the same? He's the next man on the list. He stays out. Essex Perry does the same. Quick Killers doesn't. Hazard doesn't. Pole, will he come in? No, he doesn't. He stays out. Scotty's going to come in as well, quite obviously due to his line. And the Nucho, oh god, he's miles behind. He's behind the safety car. That's a lot of movement and a lot of soft tyres that have been slapped on. Catch these positions back. That sim guy switched to medium tyres. Behind the safety car now, Aeroblake leading the race with J-Horse right behind. Joachim makes out the podium positions. Then it's Chaz Knight Rider, that sim guy who's just made a new stop as well as Chaz Knight Rider. Chaz Knight Rider absolutely smashed this. He was on like 12 lap old mediums and then just dipped when the safety car came out. So he's currently P4. So we're going in already, are we? No, we're not. He's just... behind the safety car, I probably imagine, just for the rest of this lap, and then we'll probably be getting ourselves underway. It seems like Aero Blake's beginning to get a little bit frustrated as by the sounds of just his engine is absolutely having such a go at it. Poor engine, what did it ever do to you, you know? Yeah, beginning to hold back now, unsurprisingly, doing a pretty good job too. Obviously there's a new thing in F1 where it like restricts your speed, and he's gone very early, very early, but it seems to have worked. J-Horse, and that's J-Horse and Joachim, I think that is. No, that's what? That's that's the Nuccio, isn't it? J-Horse finds himself up into P2, absolutely flies out of there, but Aero Blake has had an absolutely incredible start. 1.3 seconds away immediately. Joachim nowhere near that far back from J-Horse. Chaz Knight Rider also very close, and that Sim guy looks to try and make a move possibly around Chaz Knight Rider. He's very close, so he could possibly pull this off. Heading out that corner now. Aero Blake has absolutely smashed that. Well and truly smashed that. 1.4 seconds after the first couple of corners. Absolutely incredible stuff. That guy knows what on earth he's doing. He knows what's up. And it's now a second back from J-Horse to Joachim, as that Sim guy sneaks his way past Chaz Knight Rider. That lead on him hasn't lasted very long whatsoever. Not what he'd have been wanting whatsoever. Well, after a pretty hectic start of an absolutely amazing start from Aero Blake, it's been pretty quiet for the last lap or so. Lap 17 of 27 currently. We are over halfway. Quite literally just over halfway though. Joachim under heavy pressure from that Sim guy. Maybe we could get a little bit of action happening very soon. We got a yellow flag in sector 1. I don't know whether that's going to cause anything. No, it's almost immediately green once again. That Sim guy keeping himself behind. Rise that low curb very high, and I think he loses a little bit of time due to that. Heading down into the DRS straight now. Actually, I think they're beginning to split. I think that time's growing. That time is growing. He hasn't got DRS, that's probably why. Joachim's probably just got an ever so slightly faster car down the straight. That Sim guy's probably a bit quicker in the corners. See him lofting it in, but he's losing lots and lots of times with Joachim currently. It's almost 6/10 back when he was about 2/10 at the start of the lap before. They won't have DRS this lap, so it's probably going to be this corner. Obviously DRS is enabled, but I don't think they get it for this DRS straight. No, they do get it, because it's just after the start finish straight, so you can absolutely hurtle down. He could probably make the move here. He's going to go round the outside. Can he get the move done? They run side by side. He does run over the curb ever so slightly. Banged wheels, but he's managed to get the move. And he's not quite done and dusted yet. Joachim's still looping around the outside. No, he's going to have to tuck in behind. Here's a yellow flag, sector 1. That's a Red Bull. That's Quick Killers stopped. That's both Red Bulls out of the Grand Prix. And I don't know just how dangerous that position is that he's stopped in, to be honest. I think it's been cleared up and we're all good to continue our racing. J-Horse really beginning to pull away now from Aero Blake. They're about 5/10 apart from one another. Scotty 1597's got a penalty of some sort, so I wasn't particularly paying attention. And round goes the outside of Aero Blake, but it's inside of that corner, inside the braking zone, and he gets it done with an ever so slightly lock up, but nothing all that atrocious. It could end up biting him back though, about halfway through this next corner, and he's got two cars behind him now. That Sim guy's caught up to the two of them. This could be very, very dangerous indeed for Aero Blake as they come down the main straight. Mr. Cookie sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and then that Sim guy, no, Mr. Cookie got a penalty. That Sim guy sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. The Ferrari going down the inside makes an absolutely excellent move, but it's not quite enough time for that Sim guy to make a move as well. In fact, an amazing view for that Sim guy on that little battle there. He'd have absolutely loved watching that as well, just making sure he timed his own braking zone nicely, as they'll probably run in this formation until they get to the back straight. Into the corner of doom. No one sent into outer space that time round. Aero Blake quite a way behind J-Horse right now. It's going to be difficult for that Sim guy to try and get past here. I don't think it's going to happen at all. In fact, he's actually, no, he is pulling up. He's losing time. Losing time, but in heavy into the braking zone. It was very, very close to J-Horse there. Heading into that braking zone right towards the end there. Less than 2/10 it was to the Ferrari, to the Haas. All three of them, they know what they want. They all know they want the lead. It's most difficult right now for that Sim guy. Then J-Horse, then Aero Blake. Aero Blake's got the absolute easiest position to take the lead currently, but it would only be the lead for lap 20 of 27. We still have 8 more laps of running to go, but I'd much, much prefer that it stayed like this. That Sim guy very, very close to the back end of Aero Blake. He could probably try and move on both of them. If they get the time closed down, he's going to try a sneaky move. Aero Blake tries to dive it down the inside, loses a lot of time as he clips the back of J-Horse's rear right. But I think that's going to open the door for that Sim guy to try to go round the inside, but he's going to have to take around the outside of this corner. He gets it done. Absolutely fantastic read of the situation that occurred to maximise profit off of that. Really, really well done from that Sim guy there. That puts him in a really good position to be able to take the lead of this race for lap 21 of 27. J-Horse probably beginning to feel the threat. This is the better driver of the two, in my opinion, as we've seen with that great little read, especially at this track. I'm not sure about others, but he definitely played, I'm going to say, a better drive than Aero Blake currently. That Sim guy, in my opinion. He could very, very much steal this now. I think this is... If it was on constant alternation, this would be the lap that he'd want to take it. He'd lose it for 22, lose it then at 24, and then at 26, and he'd take it back on that 27. But obviously, it doesn't always work like that. You can't always guarantee that that'll be what happens. J-Horse is a long, long way forward, so it's not going to be any move this time round. It'll just be closing the gap down. J-Horse just beginning to put himself away, and I don't think time is all going to be too much to worry about. That Sim guy's got 3 seconds of penalties on J-Horse. J-Horse is in a very, very strong position here. Not only is he still first, but obviously he's penaltyless, whereas that Sim guy's got 3 seconds and Aero Blake's got 6 alongside Jochen. So that's not very good for them, as we can see Aero Blake just beginning to drop off the end of these two. He just cannot quite keep the pace up. And Joachim as well, just behind him, about another second back as well. It's now just these two. in the fight for this race. Right now, it's almost easy stuff for J-Horse. But he's gonna get the move done down the back straight. That doesn't happen particularly often, but it's happened. It has happened. That sim guy beginning to pull away comfortably right now. Yellow flag sector 1 currently. I think that's the Nucho out of the Grand Prix. Hopefully it's nowhere dangerous. No, it's all being cleared up. No safety car currently on the books. That sim guy beginning to break the DRS. He's a second in front currently, so all he's got to do is just keep that second, and it's very tight. But I think he's just going to about get away with it. He might have not have then. I'm not 100% sure. Let's look on board J-Horse and see whether he begins to get DRS form. It's going to be very close, but he did dip under a second for a very short period of time. I don't know whether that was then the DRS line was. No, it wasn't. He won't have DRS. It's going to be really detrimental to J-Horse's ability to catch up. It's going to be difficult for J-Horse to catch up now. All he can try and do is stay within the now 6 seconds. So it's another 3 seconds of time penalties for that sim guy on something definitely that he wasn't desired. Unsurprisingly, why would he now just a matter of that sim guy just pulling away, but I don't think he's pulling away quickly enough for anything to particularly happen. Lots and lots of movement towards the back of the grid. I think a few people lunging into the pit lanes by the looks of it. I think that's what's occurring. His rusty oil can is out of the Grand Prix. Not 100% sure why, but he is now out of the Grand Prix. I wish I'd have noticed this. These two guys side by side, bit of a contact into that left-hander there, into the start of the chicane. Aero Blake has caught up to J Horse and are now beginning to put the pressure on him. Even with the older tyres, he's now 4 seconds back. As J Horse has also picked up a penalty, this could be the opportunity for that Sim guy to take the lead of this Grand Prix. Yes, it is. Currently, he's a second in place to get the Grand Prix win. All of a sudden, everything's been changed on his head as J Horse makes the lunge down the inside and gets himself back in front of Aero Blake. Joachim begins to join the action, but he's got 9 seconds of time penalties right now, so he's not in a particularly ideal position whatsoever. But that Sim guy, as long as he keeps the penalties to a minimum, right now, looking at the leader positions, he stays top. He stays top. J Horse needs to stay sub 3 seconds to take the win of this Grand Prix. Right now, he's 1.2 seconds off of that. All of a sudden, this has been flipped entirely on its head with that penalty for J Horse, and Aero Blake beginning to get involved in his own bit of personal space has really changed the course of this race entirely. And with that penalty for Aero Blake, that entirely changes his ability to get anything out of this race, really. He'd have to do 6 seconds, so he's almost guaranteed P3 as it currently stands. I think, no, Mr. Cookie's in a really strong position here. And I think Chaz Knight Rider's also in a really good position here with a severe lack of penalties in comparison to other people. Lap 27 of 27 now. That Sim guy just crossing the line. All he's got to do is keep himself within the lines. That'll be all he's aiming for currently. Let's do the final lap along board, on board with him through the right and left hander that starts the track with a long left hander as Aero Blake just overtakes J Horse there, but it's not really going to make all that much of a difference to the race outcome at all. Then into the right hander where we exit with a very quick exit, and it's now into another sharp 90-degree right hander. You can use quite a lot of that exit, but obviously he doesn't want to, just to protect himself. A little double right hander, you only straighten out for a very short period of time there before then switching to the other side of the track to the left hander. Hit that curve right in the middle, you go flying. That's why we call it the takeoff corner. Into the right hander now. You can use you can use a reasonable amount of that before enabling DRS here if you're on a fast lap. Currently wrapping it round, you go down a little left hander before hooking it back into the right, just shifting the weight again onto the right side for that left hander before opening it out into another left hander, and then into the second half of a rather long chicane. Exit out, you hold the left hand side, come in for the second to last right hander, and then the final right hander where a certain that Sim guy comes across the line to win here in Russia. Absolutely fantastic race from him as J Horse crosses the line with Aero Blake. Aero Blake falls down into P3, but Chaz Knight Rider steals it off him right in the dying embers. It's an absolutely fantastic little piece of penalty masterminds. Chaz Knight Rider, with a lack of penalties but not quite the best start position, has snuck his way all the way up to P3. Aero Blake sits himself in P4. Mr. Cookie finds himself P5. So Mr. Cookie, a place in front of Chaz Knight Rider at the end of that Grand Prix, actually ends up 2 places backwards. That's just how much of a difference those penalties make. And look at that, Joachim, that was that is mental. Joachim, that was 2 places in front of Chaz Knight Rider, has ended up 3 places back. That's unfortunate for him. DPRW, one of the men towards the back of that little pack there. What a race that was for a lot of people. Driver of the day going to Chaz Knight Rider, who I think gained a lot of positions over the course of that race. That was yeah, very, very well done. As that Sim guy lifts the trophy to win in Russia. It's an all UK podium, but of all different constructors, Mercedes not having the best of starts. To the seat, they had a really good start, and then it just went down the drain, you know. But it's all right. They still got points. They did still get points. It's still not all that terrible for them. A lot of UK drivers, actually. I didn't realise just how many there were. Jesus. I like the fact that our Henson and Scotty are rocking, and Never Fear Andy, so they're all rocking the Ukrainian flag. So it's lovely to see. A massive congratulations to that Sim guy who's put in a really, really solid performance there to win the Grand Prix. Chaz Knight Rider went from P12 to P3. That's why he got such a lovely where he got driver of the day. As well, Alexa Sanchez started P14 and P8. That was really solid. Chaz Knight Rider getting a nice little congratulations from that Sim guy who obviously won the race. Mechanical Cole, his wheel dropped out during the race, which is pretty mental. DPRW was the only man to not get a penalty as well. That was another very, very impressive thing from him. But I think that about rounds it up, really. Thank you all very much for joining me, even if you didn't hear the start of the qualifying due to me forgetting how microphones work. But other than that, thank you very much for joining. I've been the Car Statistics. This will be round 2 in the not so favourite country in the world right now.